Today I'm going to call the ghosts out from our far side fence. Come on, little ones. Uh-oh. Hold on. There we go. Oh, Ringo's coming too. Come on, babies. We're all going to go down to the river. Let's take a river walk and speak to the spirits. You want to go talk to the spirits? Oh boy, they're so excited about this. Come on, old Pickles. Ringo, you making it okay today, buddy? How you making it today, buddy? You feeling good? Yes, sir. Oh, he does feel good. Ringo will be the first one to tell you the expression, getting old is not for sissies. And Ringo is not a sissy. No, he's not. I've been trying to get a lot of video of Ringo. You know, you never know when you're going to lose a baby. But it's always nice to have video that you can remind yourself and others. This way, babies. You don't want to eat on that grass. You want to eat on this stuff down here. Come on. Come on, littles. Follow me. Let's go where the good stuff is at. Oh, yes. Let's go get the good stuff. Hey, you big birds, stay over there. You're not coming to the river. Come on, little ones. Oh, I know, Elfie. I was really excited. Come on, littles, let's go. Come on, babies. I was really excited to see the reaction that the Native American spirit video received from you guys. A lot more support than what I was thinking I would get. And you never know how different people are going to receive a video. You know, as the video creator, if you want true content, and when I say true content, I mean if you really do want to know the ins and outs of that video creator, then you allow that person to make his or her video, realizing that there's going to be things in there you may not agree with, things you don't understand, but that's all the excitement. I think that's the beauty of following a page, especially if the page is, you know, sporadic and random and you don't really know exactly what you're going to see on any given video, what you're going to hear, what things you may or may not agree with. Look, it's cute how Ringo, for the second day in a row, has stayed at the top of the hill. He's decided not to come down. And that's fine. He doesn't have to. He does not have to. I'll take whoever wants to go down to the bottom, and those that want to stay on the top can stay on the top. I know he can't get in any trouble. Well, he can. He can find trouble. I don't think that anybody had an issue with the fact that the sweet lady has visions and has seen things. Because, wow, out of the 2,000 plus comments, I would say 90% of those were from people who also have seen things that they can't explain. Things that people want to roll their eyes at. Things that people want to kind of like, cuckoo, cuckoo. But if it's happened to you, if it's ever happened to you, then you would obviously change your mind real fast on your thoughts of someone being cuckoo. But that's the thing. If you haven't experienced some things firsthand, you never really know. But I made sure I asked permission of her to use her emails in telling my story. I tried to be respectful of the Native Americans those that are living who may have seen the video, and there were some, as well as those spirits who may still wander these parts. But you know what's, I'm going to tell you what's kind of funny, and this is not meant to bash anybody, but there were other folks who, please be careful over there. I don't know the reason for going down that steep. Elfie, I don't think, Elfie is the bravest of all of our goats, y'all. Now, I know she's not officially our goat, but right now she is. She is the bravest, and she gets hooked to do things he shouldn't do. How many of y'all know somebody who is like very, very outgoing, and they can convince other people to do the same things that they're doing? That's Elfie. Elfie will do things, and then if you, lo and behold, Mr. Huck's not doing the same thing. And Mr. Huck is not in the same shape as sweet Elfie. I'm sorry to say that, Mr. Huck. He's not in the same shape. I didn't mean that mean. Let me count real fast. I'm counting 17. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, so we have several goats who've not come down the hill. Now the hard part is asking yourself, which of the goats did not come down the hill? So Ringo, obviously. Ringo did not come down the hill. Who else did not come down that hill? So I like to start with my triplets here. Chip, Roxy, and Sissy. Good. Pickles. Pickles did not come down the hill. That's Ringo and Pickles so far. I see both of the Golden Girls. I see Laverne and Shirley. I see Big Boy Brady. I see Lenny. Okay, let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there's still 2 goats I cannot account for. There's Ringo. Oh, no! Baby, what are you doing? Sweetie? Millie? Sweet baby? Fiona, what are you going to do? Just watch her? Did I not tell y'all that sometimes in every partnership there's one person that does things they probably shouldn't do, and they try to convince the other one to do it? Come on, Fiona, come with her. Good girl, Millie. Oh, I love that. Millie, what a sweet girl. You're going to come hang out with your daddy. She found her way down that hill, down that steep, steep embankment. Yeah, so there are still 2 additional goats at the top of the hill. Pebbles. Pebbles is one of them. I don't hear her bell. So Pebbles, Ringo, and Bree's little goat, Pickles. So that's 3. And there's still 1 more. Now, don't worry, the goat, our shop goat, Tilly, doesn't count. She doesn't consider herself a goat, y'all. Millie, I'm so proud of you, sweetie. You have really done something to show some courage. Or some stupidity. I'm not saying which is which. Sometimes you don't know until someone gets hurt if it's courageous or stupid. Hi, baby. Come here. Let Daddy love you. Oh, my goodness. I wonder if this love I'm showing you will make Fiona decide to come on down. And look at that. You start showing one of them love, and now Fiona's up here. Wait a minute. I want some loving. Millie, Willie, Millie, silly Willie. Millie Vanilli, y'all. Millie Vanilli. Yeah, I would say that in that goat, the spirit video, the people that were the most opinionated were the very religious folks. And I'm not, guys, I don't mind if you're very religious. And they were talking about how you don't believe in spirits. And they said, here's what they said. I'm just gonna kind of paraphrase. I'm not direct quoting anybody, but get this. They would give you a scripture, and they would say something like, "Those that are gone are gone." And then in the next paragraph, they would come back with, "If you start doing things or allowing yourself to believe in the spirits, then you're going to invite evil spirits." And I'm like, wait a minute. Is that not contradictory? How is that not contradictory? Those that are, if you're dead, then you're gone. Yet, that's Maggie. Tilly, that's Millie, that's Maggie. Why are you scared of Maggie? Maggie, what'd you do? What'd you say to her? No, that's some jealousy right there. Maggie, she's brave. She came all the way down here with us. Where's the other one? Nope, she went back. Oh, there's Fiona. So guys, I don't think you can have it both ways, where when it's convenient to say and quote scripture, yet all of a sudden come right back and say, but if you mess with, if you whatever with spirits, then you're inviting evil. And then they would include another scripture to verify that. And I'm like, if that is not the one reason why I have the biggest issue with organized religion, is because of the contradicting. I mean, that's one thing, but along with the hypocrisy. Oh, but that's not what this video's about, y'all. That's not what this video's about. I don't mean to. It was a topic. It was a discussion starter. The video's about getting the goats out and about. So I will tell y'all another interesting fact that Jamie read. Okay, so you do remember how I talked to y'all about the land being inhabited by a 1700s era Indian tribe. Now, I say tribe, even though we found out later that what the makeup of Indians in this area in the 1700s. Now, don't forget, guys, 1700s were the colonial period. That was when the colonies were formed, and there were very few white men who'd made it this far. You know, yes, I know we've had the Lewis and Clark, and there were white men who had ventured out, but there were very few white men in this area. Obviously, there were no known establishments. There was no colonization. But what happened was, once this area became semi-populated and there was a demand for lumber. This is kind of sad, but a gentleman bought thousands and thousands and thousands of acres along the river here, along this Trinity River. It's called the Trinity. And he built somewhere down south, right along the river, he built a sawmill. And this is all facts. You can find this on the internet. And I think he paid like $1 something or $2. It was in the dollars. It was just a few dollars per acre. And he bought so much land. And so what he did was he created a small town where all of his employees came to live there in the buildings. And as long as you worked for his company, you had your housing. They gave you a voucher that would allow you so much in groceries. If you had a family, you were allotted a few more dollars. And those men would come out every single day on different tracts of land, and they would cut the timber. They would use teams of mules or oxen to take the trees from where they cut. You know, of course, they trim the limbs, and they would drag them to the river. Now, here's the interesting part. Get this. They would employ the local Native Americans, the local Indian tribes. And I hate to even imagine how unfair the wages were. I hope to God I never find out they employed them by a bottle of whiskey or something stupid like that. But you know how the white men treated the Native Americans. There's Pebbles and there's Pickles. They finally made it down. But they would employ them to float the trees down the river, down to the sawmill. And so I sometimes think to myself how that must have looked. So would the Native Americans use canoes? Would they swim along beside the logs? How would they have done that? Now, obviously, the river is plenty wide. The river is plenty wide to float logs. There's an occasional sandbar here and there you'd have to somehow bypass to avoid a log jam. But they would employ the Native Americans to float the logs down the river. And you want to hear what's sad? Now, I'm going to tell you this again. This area around here is known as the Big Thicket National Forest. This is a national forest here. The Big Thicket National Forest. If any of y'all want to look any of that up, you're welcome to. Get this. The small town was booming during that era. It was a booming town during that era. They had a movie theater. They had, obviously, a general store. But mostly they would have weekend dances. And it was what you see in movies, y'all. It's the kind of stuff that you see when you watch movies. But during the week, they would have, it was just hustle and bustle. And the sad thing is, at some point, they had cut down so much timber out of these woods. They'd cut down so much timber out of these woods, had all that timber moved down the river, down to the sawmill, begin to mill the heck out of it and ship it wherever they had the nearest railroad, and they shipped it out and shipped it out and just shipped it out. And I'm guessing that at that time, business was booming until, guess what? All of these woods were depleted of their lumber, of their timber. And that town, it dissolved. The town dissolved almost overnight. As the business moved on elsewhere, so did all the inhabitants, so did all the workers. That meant the movie theater shut down, and it became a relative ghost town. And what's sad about that is all of the woods that was inhabited by that Native American tribe was no longer there. Now, I'm sure that would have taken probably, how many years would that take, guys? I did not look that information up. I have no idea how many years all of that process took, but I would say probably 20, 30 years. And I'm guessing by then, you would have had enough time to where the Indians, the Native American population, probably had integrated enough with the white men to where there was no longer a need to have woods to hunt. Maybe they had already learned to work. And anywho, everyone also knows, and I already talked about this, they established an Indian reservation not too far from here, the Alabama Coushatta Indian Reservation, where they moved any remaining Indians, Native Americans who wanted to live on the reservation, and gave them their own housing or whatever they do for the Native Americans, which I don't think is much, but whatever they do. And so that is a little bit more history that we've learned and researched from this area. And I want to say thank you to all the people who have taken part in this really neat history of not just our land, but this area that we now live in. And so when I walk down to the river, and I said, so I don't know if you know what I'm doing, but subconsciously I'm watching my goats. And if they look out towards something, then I'm going to look and I'm going to wave. Because I have yet to see a spirit. I've yet to hear a spirit. But I'll tell you what, I am not saying they're not there. Because I am not going to be one. Guys, not here, not along the riverbank. I'm not going to be one to cast any kind of shade or shadow on anyone's beliefs. Because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm not making fun or making light of it. And so then another lady, I remember this part, another lady talked about the fact that, hey, that's my toe! Ouch! That was mean. Another lady talked about the fact of the disrespect of getting a camera out. the disrespect of pulling out a camera. And I'm going to have to disagree with you there. I am going to have to disagree with you there. Because, guys, honestly, let me say it this way over here. Don't you think that if you passed, you would want your story to be told? Would you want your story to die in time? Seriously, would you want your story to die in time? So the same way I will take a letter that one of you send me, and I'll sometimes read it on a video, I'll read it out loud. I will share the piece of the story that you want to share with me. And if you don't mind me sharing it with other folks, then I will gladly share your story. So no, I think that if I was I'm a man, Lester Morrow. And in 20, 30 years, I will no longer be here. Maybe sooner. You never know, right? Guess what? I hope that somebody continues to share my story, my vision, my goals, my dreams, my hopes, my wishes, my failures, my successes, my story. Share my story. And then 100 years from now, when very few people, if anybody, has ever heard of this guy, Lester Morrow, or I'm a Survivor Sanctuary, or Longhorn Lesters, you know what? Someone share the story. Man, wouldn't that honor you, even in death, that people share your story? There were kings who built monuments to themselves so that people would never forget their story. Think about it. I do not think that any spirit here is upset with me for sharing his or her story. I wish I knew more, and I have made it my quest to find out more. Jamie has only done things on the internet, but I have yet to talk to neighbors. But I cannot wait until I get a chance to meet different neighbors who've been here for a while and ask them and talk to them about stories of what they may have heard, what they may remember, names. Probably I won't get names of individuals, but I tell you what, if I could ever find the name of the tribe, what they called themselves, if I could ever find names, and I will certainly share these stories. And so think about it. There's 3 things that you've learned from Lester that you did not know before about those ancients who lived here. How they came here, where they came from, and what may have been the end of their civilization, which is the logging industry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's Ringo. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. All heads accounted for. They are all here. And I hope you guys have enjoyed our little river walk. Now if we can just get Fiona to join us next time.